Welcome, welcome, welcome. How much do you need to make in order to purchase a home in the Colony, Texas today? We're going to go through all of the numbers. We're talking about the real estate prices, property taxes, down payment, interest rates. You're going to see everything that goes into calculating your mortgage payment. But more importantly, you're going to see affordability. You're going to see essentially what the cost is, how much it's going to ultimately take, so you have a really good understanding, and also you're going to be able to replicate this for your home search as well. So if we don't go through the exact numbers in your particular situation, check out the links down below, which you're going to have access to all of this. This is for you. This is all going to be there, so you don't have to guess at your next home purchase. All right, so the Colony, Texas. Let's get into this. I want to make this the most valuable couple of minutes that you're going to have today. So that's a tall order. All right, so here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure you can hear me okay. All right, so as you're coming in, a like is going to go a long way. It's going to really help amplify this live stream so we can get it out to the masses. All right, so the Colony, Texas, one of the things that we like to go, the first place that we like to go to is establish what the prices are in the Colony. That's very helpful for us. And where we go is to get some real-time information of where the market is today. So for that, we go to Altos Research, which is market data that's available for you. It's at no cost to you. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. It's some real-time information that you can use for your home search. So regardless of when you're purchasing, whether that's next week, next month, next year, you have real-time information. So let's read a brief analysis of what happened this particular week. This week, the median list price for the Colony is $775,000. So that don't get spooked. That's a little bit higher than the actual median average for the trailing month. But this is essentially the week breakdown. With the market action index hovering around 45, this is less than last month's market action index of 46. So what does this mean? The market action index essentially lets you know, is this a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? From a buyer's market perspective, that means that they have options. So if it's a buyer's market, they have more leverage. They have more options of homes to purchase. Now, if it's a seller's market, that means there's less inventory. That means that they are the ones that have the power. They're the ones that have a bit more leverage where they can get picky and choosy on the offers that they choose to work with. So that's the difference. Now, as you can see here, it's still a seller's market as of this past week. In the last few weeks, the market has achieved a relative status point. Stasis? Oh, how do you say that? Stasis point in terms of sales to the inventory. However, inventory is sufficiently low to keep it in the seller's market zone. So watch changes in the market action index. So basically, the inventory right now is 130 homes that are available for sale in the Colony right now. All right, so we're going to scroll down to the bottom, which is really the reason that we came here. And the reason I like this particular website, Altos Research, is because one, it's free information, but two, it's real information, real time, what's happening right now. And the third thing is the market segment. So it lets you know the price, so the median price in relation to the property that you're looking to purchase. So as an example here, on the top 25% or on the top quartile, you're looking at a little bit over $1 million for a 3,800 square foot home in the Colony. Prices have gone crazy high. I'll tell you that right now. The Colony used to be the highest value that you would get for your buck. That's no longer the case, which we'll talk about here shortly. $825,000 for about 3,300 square feet, $695,000 for 2,600 square feet, and $358,000 for 1,500 square feet. So you see the difference price points in the square footage that you're seeking, and also the amount of beds, baths, and age. So what we'd like to do here on this channel, whenever we do these breakdowns of the salaries required to purchase a home in a particular area, we like to go with the 4-bedroom and at least 2-bath scenario. The reason being is because we get a lot of calls from all over the country that are looking to move here. So if that is you, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is below. And in those conversations, we get asked about 4 bedrooms so frequently. That is the most common. It used to be the 3-2, but the calls that we get now are basically 4-2, 4-2.5, 4-3. So 4 beds and 2.5 baths, 3 baths. And several reasons for this. There's either they're looking for that extra room, or they're looking for that fourth bedroom, either because they're looking for an office space so they can have a place to work from home given their job situation, or they're looking for a flex gen space, meaning flexible generational space. What that means is it's either the kid that's not able to afford to purchase a home, so they're moving in with their parents, or it's their parents that are getting up in age and look and need somebody to take look after them, as opposed to putting them in a retirement home. So basically, it's either the parent or the child of the homeowner that is seeking that fourth bedroom, which is why we call it the flex gen space, flexible generational. Or flexible generation, a space. So there you go. So what this means for us today is that we're looking for a 695,000 square foot home. Did I say square foot? A home that is $695,000. That is the point that we're going towards. That is the average price point that we're looking at. All right, so let's get into this. Let me look at one thing real quick. There we go. All right, so what is that what will this buy you in the colony? Let's do just one quick, let me start up another one. Let's just do one very, very brief search through the MLS to see what we can purchase. We're gonna do single family, we're gonna search. All right, so this starts, let me remove myself. This starts from the bottom up. I'm sorry, this starts from the lowest price to the highest price. All right, so as you can see, the colony is all through here. All right, so as the lowest price property right now, that's a single family square foot home in the colony, is $245,000. All right, so you are seeing here, we're hitting the 300,000s. This is more than the 300,000s. Now you're gonna notice that in the colony specific, well, in much of the colony, you're gonna see some of the homes get converted from a garage into a fourth bedroom. That is not uncommon for this area. They're looking for that additional space. So some of the homes that you're going to see while they have like a garage face, like it looks like there's actually a garage, there actually is not. All right, so now we're about to hit the 400,000s. So this gives you an idea of what we're looking at. And let's keep going. We're going to spend 12 more seconds here just to give you a visual of what we're ultimately purchasing. So now we're getting into the 465, a little higher than the 400,000s, which is really good looking homes. Now we're getting into 600,000s. Oh, I like that. So you can see you can purchase some phenomenal homes in the colony. And this is the last page that we're going to go through. So new builds, I typically like to stop at the new builds if there are new builds in the area. So the colony at this point is almost tapped out. You're going to see some small developments here or there, but at this point you're not going to find too many new construction homes. So at this point, if you're looking for a new build, if you're looking for a new home, you are looking at roughly $775,000 at the earliest price point. All right, so let's keep it moving and grooving. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Now that we know what we're shooting for, which let me remind myself, $695, let's get into the max price calculator. This is linked down below, so make sure you check that out. And you can follow along where I'm going to give you exactly the numbers, where to go to get the numbers that are relevant for your purchase. We're going to go through a bit of an explanation on some of those that are a little bit more challenging to comprehend. And then also of course you have access to this down in the comment section below. So make sure that you download this max price calculator, which is available to you at no cost. All right, so let's dig in. The Colony, Texas, $695,000. These are the scenario that we're going to build with is right here. These are the numbers that, for the most part, are market driven, and yes, basically market driven outside of the down payment. So you get to decide how much you're going to put down. Now, if you are getting most of you are going to be getting a loan that is either an FHA loan or a conventional loan. An FHA loan, the minimum down payment that you're looking at is 3.5% down. A conventional loan, that minimum that you're going to put there is 3% down. So those are just some nuances here and there. Another difference between FHA and a conventional is that an FHA loan, if you put anything less than 20% down, you're going to be paying mortgage insurance for the life of that loan. It doesn't matter if you get into a 20% owner equity. If you put anything down that less than 20% down on both loans, you're going to be paying mortgage insurance. That's the same on both the conventional and the FHA and the conventional. Now, the difference is with the FHA loan, that mortgage insurance that you're going to be paying on top of your interest, that doesn't go away. On the conventional side, once you get to 20% owner equity, so meaning as the years go by and you pay enough to actually own 20+% of your home, at that point, the mortgage insurance goes away. That's on the conventional side. So we'll talk about that here shortly because I did a really good job of butchering that. So we're going to put 5% down for our purposes today to give us a starting point. You can put whatever you want. If you're looking to avoid mortgage insurance altogether, put 20% down. You're going to see the numbers on how those are reflected. Interest rate. The interest rate is going to be different by the time you're watching this video. So the interest rate, the easiest way to do that is go to, mortgage. Go to mortgage interest rate today, go to Google, and let's just do a quick breakdown. These don't need to be exact. We're going to get a ballpark. What we're going to do is we're going to say we need a loan right now for about $600,000, and our interest rate is 7.314%. That is the mortgage interest rate. That's the average right now. Could you get something a little bit higher? Yes, you could. Could you get something a little bit lower? Yes, you could. Several different things go into that. Of course, the down payment will affect that, but also your credit score. Your credit score is going to significantly change that. Let's just say if we had 800 plus, you're getting below a 7% rate, right? So, but we understand that credit score is incredibly challenging to do. So we're going to give you real life scenarios that are going to affect everybody, or the better way of saying that is now you know where to go to get the information and put in your specific situation. So 7.31% is what we're going to put as, yeah, we're not going to be doing that. 7.31%. Now, how long is your mortgage? Most mortgages are 30 years, but you could put 20 years, or you can buy a property in 20 years, 15 years, up to 40 years now. It is, but the standard is going to be 30 years. Property tax rate. The property tax rate, that's one that is not that simple. Let me rephrase that. It's not that easy to find. It's simple to understand, though. So property taxes in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex are high. Just in Texas altogether, they're on the higher end. Texas is actually the 6th highest property taxed state in the country, New Jersey being number 1. So you have Texas having some of the highest property tax rates in the entire country is a big deal. And here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, of course, that's no different. So what you want to understand about property tax rates is this, that there's generally going to be about 5 different numbers that you need to add together to get to your true property tax rate. 3 of them are going to be across the DFW Metroplex. Come heck or high water, you are going to factor those in. And then there's 2 that sometimes you're gonna be adding in, sometimes they're not present. So it'll explain it'll make a little bit more sense once we go through an example. So property tax rates. For sure, you're going to be paying city tax, county tax, ISD tax. You're going to add those together for sure, all across the DFW Metroplex. Oftentimes, though, we're going to add one or 2 more additional rates to factor into our overall true property tax rate. And that's either going to be a higher education tax, so think of like community college, and then a hospital network tax. Think of it like Parkland hospital network. So those are the 2 additional taxes that you're looking at. So again, city, county, ISD, sometimes higher education, sometimes hospital network. So now it's our job to go and find that, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to go back to Google, and we're going to put in the Colony property tax rate, and we're going to try to get it directly from them. We're going to go to the city website that they have. We're going to try to avoid any third-party websites because they're not always as accurate. So we're going to go to property tax. And this is one that's going to give us trouble. I can already tell. All right, so here's what's going to happen. The tax rate for the fiscal year is 0.645. All right, so oftentimes, if we didn't have the information that we now have, we would type in, we would look for the property tax rate. We would say, hey, property taxes, okay. It looks like it's 0.645%. So it's less than 1%. And if we were to stop here, we would be wrong. If we were to stop here, we would be underreporting or just underestimating what the property tax rates are, and that's going to be a huge disservice. So that's why I do not appreciate the way that the cities present this information, because actually, if you look at 0.645, that's actually towards the higher end of the property tax rates for the city perspective. It doesn't tell you the county, it doesn't tell you the ISD, and it doesn't let you know if there's going to be a hospital network or a higher education portion of the property tax rate. So most cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex are between 2 to 3% property tax rate. This 0.645% is way off from that. So of course we're going to need to go. In fact, we're going to need to go out and find some. We're going to need to go out there and find the actual number. Let me see if this takes us to. I don't want it to take us to a little portal because the portal is not that I'm sure it's accurate, but it's not that user friendly, and it crashes my software. All right, so this is where the fun begins. Some cities make it so easy. Some cities do not. All right, so we're gonna have to go really quickly here because I do not want to get it to crash. Why is it not letting me? Yeah, it's on the way. All right, so we're gonna need to call an audible. It did not let me. Okay, let's do this. I really don't like going to this, but we're gonna have to use a third party. If this wasn't acting up, I might be able to get us the actual true one, but that little calculator, it's notorious. It doesn't play nice. All right, so let's see what this says over here. The Colony is 2.04. This is more in line. This is more in line with what we're talking about. I don't want to. All right, so let's see if we can find that rate somewhere else as well, just to double check it. What numbers are these? These are city rates. So 0.64 total tax rate. If this were to give us the ISD, we could okay. We can do this. look something up real quick. All right, so let's see if we can do this manually. We can guesstimate. I don't like doing it this way, but when we're pressed for time, that's okay. So we're gonna say it's 0.64. All right, so we have the city tax rate, 0.64. Now we add the ISD. ISD is going to be Louisville. So 0.64. So that's what's that? 7. So adding 1.13 plus the 0.64, that's so 7.77. And then we add in Denton County. So what's that? 8, 9, 5. So it's just short of 2%. Now I do not see any hospital network. I don't see community college anywhere. Denton. All right, we're gonna take a flyer. I'd much rather give us something a little bit closer, but we're gonna take a flyer and we're gonna go with the 2.04%. This is not gonna be off by too much. So quick reminder, as you saw there, even though I know what I'm looking for, it's not that simple to, let me rephrase that. It's not that easy. It should be simple. It's not that easy to find. All cities present it differently. There's some cities that will just give you those 5 numbers right out the gate, or the 3 numbers in case that they don't have the additional 2 that I mentioned. But for sure, you need to get that city tax rate. You need to get the county tax rate. You need to add in the ISD tax rate, and then sometimes you're going to be contending with a hospital network tax and a higher education tax. So for our purposes today, we are going to go with 2.04%. Insurance rate. This one's just a benchmark. This is just a standard, what we apply across the board, just to get a realistic premium that we can expect on the property. And what we do is times, this is actually 0.75%. So we multiply 0.75 times the value of the home, which gives us the insurance premium that we're going to pay for that year. So we just divide that out by 12. And you're going to see the calculation on the following tab. I'm just letting you know where the math is coming from. Mortgage insurance rate. So since we are not putting 20% down on the purchase of this home, remember, if it's beyond 20% down, then we avoid mortgage insurance. But since we are not doing that, we are inputting a little bit about our credit to give us a realistic expectation of what mortgage insurance we're going to be paying, because that's going to be an additional premium. That's going to be an additional percentage, certain percentage amount to the monthly mortgage payment. So you'll see that broken down here shortly. When it comes to HOAs, 400 is a reasonable amount for the colony, but we're going to go with 500 to be conservative. So HOAs are not all homes are in HOAs, but if you purchased a home that is, let's say, less than 10 years old, chances are your home is in an HOA. Over 85% of the homes that are sold today are sold into HOAs. Don't ask me why. It just is the case. So if you're looking at cities that have pretty much blown up, like the Frisco, Aubrey, Salina, Anna, all of these cities basically up north, Prosper, since their major growth has come in the last 10 years, you can expect that most of the homes up there are in HOAs. So the county is, you have a lot of older homes that are in the 70s and 80s, but you have there when it was getting developed, you still have a significant amount of homes that are in HOAs as well. So you're going to be contending with that. All right, so this is where you put your information. So how much are you making per year? So for our purposes today, we're going to start off with making $100,000 and see if that's going to be enough for us to purchase a home in the colony. Remember, we need to get to $695,000. Now, this is assuming what the market is doing and what we're putting down in the monthly mortgage payment. I'm sorry, in the down payment. All right, so that's one part. So we need to factor in the debt to income ratio. So basically it takes how much debt we're paying per month and factoring in how much income we're generating per month as well. So we need to factor in the debt as well. Now, what is debt? This means car loans. This means child support. This means credit cards. This means personal loans. This means student loans. That is what's debt. Now, what's not debt are expenses. This is rent, groceries, utilities, phone bill, insurance. These are the normal expenses that you're doing from a day-to-day perspective. That's something that's going to be there regardless if you have debt or not. You need living expenses. So that's where you're not going to factor that into the equation. That's already factored into the DTI already in terms of percentages that are allowed. So just name your debt here. This is for you. Again, it is linked down below. You can fill that in at your leisure. Just fill in your debt and then the amount that you're paying on that debt. So if you have student loans, put it there. The amount that you're paying, the minimum is very important. The minimum that you're paying, not if you're paying over a certain minimum or the certain amount that you're required to, cool, that's awesome. But don't put it here because it's not gonna benefit you. So just name your debt and then put the amount. Now, if you have a co-borrower that is signing on the loan with you, you're going to put their income there as well because it counts, and also their debt as well. So you can have multiple co-borrowers. You can have, I believe, most banks are going to give you about three people on the loan. Beyond that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough if you're looking to get all of your buddies to buy a home together. That's not gonna necessarily work. And most banks won't allow more than 3 co-borrowers, so just know that. All right, so now that we have our scenario planted, now we need to go and see what the breakdown is. Now we're gonna come back up to this so I can show you the breakdown of where the money is going, but this gives you a realistic expectation of the purchase price of the home. So basically here, what you're seeing here on this column is it lets you know the amount of home that you can purchase, the value of the home that you can purchase. And as you can tell, from $267,000 to $496,000, that does not meet the minimum requirement for the colony that we're looking for of $695,000. So that means we need to earn a little bit more. Now, the way that this is broken down is through, think of it like risk profile, risk tolerance, where you have a safe loan. If you want to look at a safe loan or safe loan, nothing's truly safe, but it gives you you're not extending yourself more than what you could realistically take. If you do a safe loan, if you will, you're looking at a little bit under $2,100 as your monthly mortgage payment, which amounts to 33% of your net income. Now, as you continue borrowing more, naturally, you can see that your mortgage payment increases, of course, and then also the amount of that goes to your housing needs, essentially to your mortgage, will get significantly higher in relation to your income. So here, if you get an aggressive loan, you're looking at purchasing a home of about $485,000, and that means you're paying $3,750 month as your monthly mortgage payment, which means it's 60% of your net income or 59% of your net income. But as mentioned, this number is not high enough. So we need to make a little bit more. Let's say, what if we make $125,000? Are we able to purchase a home for $695,000 in the colony? Not quite. Not quite. So let's add in 100. We're not far off. So let's go ask our boss for a bit of a raise and see what they say. Hey, can you give us a raise? Not quite. All right, boss. I know I said I wanted a raise, but how about this? How about this? Can you swing this? What if we make $150,000? All right, so I got us. We like the number. I think I think I could go less than this, but I like the number whenever we do these calculations to be between a moderate and aggressive loan. I don't like to give the number of the risky loan. That I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for it to be a reasonable loan. So if I make $145,000, I could still fit it in the equation. So for our purposes today, we're going to call that good. We're going to say we need $145,000 income to purchase a home in the colony at that price under a 5% down scenario with the interest rate of 7.31 with a 30-year mortgage loan on that. Property tax rate, it's not going to vary by much, but it is going to vary just because I could not confirm it for you. But 2.04%, that's a reasonable amount. Insurance rate, it's an estimation of the monthly mortgage premium, HOA, and let me show you what that looks like. So here, I'm going to manipulate the income on the other tab to make this $695,000 or as close to. The reason being is I want to show you the breakdown of what the mortgage payment is. I'm going to need to bump it up. So don't look at this number because our exercise is over. $145,000 was our final answer. We need this number to be high so I can show the conservative risk level up here being 695. Bear with me, I'm almost there. That's close enough. All right, so here's what we're looking at. If we're purchasing a home in the colony for $695,000, which is the median price at this moment, and we're putting 5% down, we're looking at about $35,000 of money down. So this 5% goes straight into your equity. This is what you have already as ownership stake in your property. Now, your estimated closing costs, this gives you a really good estimate of what you can expect to bring to the closing table to pay for title fees, to pay for lender costs, to pay for everything associated to closing that loan. So there it's about $17,000. Now you add those together, it's what, what's that, 51, 52, 52, about $52,200 roughly. So that's what you would need to have in liquid form to purchase a home. So that's something that you would need to have in your bank or have access to if you're going to be able to take out from your 401k. You need to bring that to the closing table. The rest is going to be financed. The rest is going to come via the bank. So that's what you're looking at. Now, how are you going to pay the bank back? How are you going to pay the lender back? Well, you're looking at $5,367 as a monthly mortgage payment. Again, this isn't exactly $695, so we're going to be off by a couple of pennies. $5,367 per month. Now that breaks down into your principal interest being $4,500. Property taxes. Ooh, that's not right. It's not right at all. Where did we go wrong? Oh, I know what happened. Hold on. Wait a minute. We caught ourselves. Hold on. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot better now. Let me see if our calculation changes. It really won't. Too bad. Actually, it will. All right. All right, don't hate me. We need to make a little bit more. We need to go back to the boss. We need to go back to the boss and say, hey, we're going to really need a raise now. Sorry. Pump the brakes. Good thing we checked. All right, so this is good. Your yearly gross income that you need is $180,000. Now, the reason being is because when I put the property tax rate, I actually put it as a percentage. The way that we have this calculator, which by the way, this is linked down below. Make sure you check that out. This already adds the decimal. This already will factor that in after the fact. So me putting 2.04, that was not necessary. So that was a mistake on my part. I've done hundreds of analysis, thousands of analysis at this point, and I've done how many of these videos? 30 of these breakdowns, and I still, things happen. So good thing we caught ourselves. Yearly gross income, $180,000. All right, so my apologies on that. Good thing we caught ourselves. Now, the reason I know that that was just not right was because the property taxes of being $40, that is not possible. So let me revise my answer. Everything else is still the same. So, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to go back to your boss and ask for a significant raise and make $180,000. Now, did I freeze? I might have frozen. Okay, so my camera froze. Sorry about that. All right, so as long as we're still streaming, we're going to keep it going. What we're going to do now is we're still going to need to force this number to be higher so I can show you the breakdown. We need this to be $695,000 or close to. So now you see we need to get an executive position now. All right, that's a little bit high. All right, so that's close. Cool. All right, so what does this change? This the down payment's not going to be changed. The estimate is not going to be changed. For the most part, that's going to be the same. Your monthly mortgage payment is going to go up. Now, the reason it's going to go up is because of the property taxes. This is where you see the huge rise in property taxes. It's $1,000 more than what you originally saw, which makes sense at this point. So your monthly mortgage payment is going to be $6,500 per month. Your principal and interest stays the same. You're still asking for the same amount of money. That's not changing. You still have the same interest rate that you're being charged. That's not changing. What is changing is the property taxes that you're paying. So there, as opposed to me putting in like I rightly should have, is instead of it reading it as 2.04%, it was reading it as 0.002%, which is nothing. As you saw there, it was like $40, which is not anywhere close to what reality is. So thankfully we caught that. Property taxes is almost $1,200 per month. So that is very realistic. So yeah, that's something you're going to be paying every single year. As a reminder, regardless if you've already paid your home outright and you don't have a mortgage on it, you're still paying property taxes. That doesn't go away. Your homeowner's insurance premium is going to be roughly $435. That can go up or down depending on coverages, on the age of the home, and a few things in between. If it's had claims or not, that'll change. Now, mortgage insurance is something that will drop off once you get beyond a 20% owner equity or owning over 20% of that home. Now, that's assuming if you have a conventional loan. If you have an FHA loan, it doesn't matter if you at that point get 20% owner, 30% own, 50%, 80%, like it doesn't matter. That mortgage insurance doesn't go away. And then homeowner's insurance, although it doesn't get added into your monthly mortgage payment, we like to show it here just so you can budget for it. Now, ultimately, I want you to go down and check out the link down below. It's going to have this calculator. But also, we're not going to go through the rest of this. I want you to just check out and see what the rest is going to look like. So there's a lot of other scenarios that are going to apply for your particular home purchasing needs. So I want you to check that out. It gives you different calculators, different scenarios to walk through that are going to be beneficial in your home search. So this is something that we're not going to have time to cover today, but this is going to be valuable for you to have at the end of the day. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If you would like to start a home search or are considering selling your home and would like our assistance, we have agents all across the country and would love to support you in any way that we can. Outside of that, see you on the next one.